Welcome to Time of Death. This video is for informational purposes and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murders of Juan Manuel Hernandez and Oscar Curiel. Both died on Thursday, January 16, 2014, in the 600 block of Walnut Street in Inglewood, according to LA County coroner records. Gilbert Henry Anchondo was subsequently arrested and charged with the murders. The following is the evidence at trial. Adriana Arriaga regularly hung out with victim Oscar Scrappy Curiel and others behind an apartment complex at 604 Walnut Street in Inglewood. According to Arriaga, people continually passed through the apartment's complex rear parking lot at all hours. Many stayed for just a few minutes and left. Victim Juan Hernandez spent a great deal of time in that area. Hernandez was known as Calacas because he was really skinny. Curiel had a medium build and was about 5 feet 8 inches tall. Arriaga identified Anchondo in court as Danger and testified that she saw him for the first time on January 15, 2014. On the morning of January 15, 2014, Arriaga hung out in the alley with Curiel and a friend of Curiel that Arriaga knew as Lalo. Arriaga had a Bluetooth speaker for sale. She was sitting in Curiel's Lincoln along with Curiel and speaking to Lalo about buying the speaker when defendant Gilbert Anchondo approached. Anchondo looked at the item, then told Arriaga to give him back his speaker. Arriaga was surprised because she had just purchased the speaker and it belonged to her. She had never met or seen Anchondo before then. Anchondo then asked Curiel what happened to the bag of laundry that he left on top of the truck. Curiel told Anchondo that he didn't know what Anchondo was talking about. Anchondo kept looking around the truck. Lalo told Anchondo the bag was behind the backseat of the red truck. Curiel then told Anchondo, "Go look behind the back seat and don't ever leave shit on top of my car when there's kids around here." Anchondo walked to the back seat of the truck and then went inside the laundry room nearby. Anchondo called Curiel over and said he had to talk to him. Anchondo and Curiel went to the side of the building and spoke to each other for about 10 minutes. Anchondo then got on his bike and rode off. Curiel looked very angry. Curiel told Arriaga, "Could you believe this mother effer came and told me that he didn't appreciate me banging on him in front of the people that are here?" On January 16, 2014, at around 3 a.m., LC was in her apartment overlooking the alley when she heard loud male voices. She heard someone yell no in an angry voice, then she heard multiple gunshots. LC walked onto the balcony. She saw a person in a hoodie sweater approaching the passenger door of a red Tahoe, then go around, enter the vehicle and move it so it wouldn't hit the wall and would directly come out. The person in the hoodie appeared to be a male, 5 feet 7 or 8 inches tall, with a thin build and wearing dark pants. The Tahoe almost hit a wall on the way out. LC never saw any other person in the alley or any other vehicle drive away. At around 8 a.m. on January 16, 2014, Cassandra H., a 10th grader, left for school through the back door of the apartment where she lived with her mother and Diablo, her mother's boyfriend. The apartment's back door was a few feet from the laundry room. In the rear parking lot, Cassandra saw the bodies of Curiel and Hernandez. Neither man was breathing. Cassandra called 911. Curiel's red truck, which was often parked there, was missing. About 10 minutes after calling 911, Cassandra spoke with Inglewood Police Detective Jack Aranda. Detective Aranda recorded their conversation. Cassandra told Detective Aranda about an incident that happened the day before involving Anchondo, whom she knew as Danger. Cassandra saw Anchondo and Curiel in the parking lot area behind the apartment complex. Cassandra said she heard Curiel and Anchondo yelling at each other. At around 4 p.m. on January 16, 2014, Inglewood Police Sergeant Tyron Bayless was on duty in a patrol car. Sergeant Bayless became aware that a vehicle pursuit was occurring in his vicinity. As he prepared to turn west onto Centinela at the northwest corner of Centinela and La Brea Boulevard, Sergeant Bayless observed a red SUV come out of an alley traveling at high speed and crash into a school bus. The driver's door of the SUV opened and some objects came out of the car. Sergeant Bayless activated his patrol car lights and sirens and pursued the vehicle, which was moving west on Centinela at 70 or 80 miles per hour. The red SUV crashed into several vehicles less than a mile later at Centinela and La Cienega. Sergeant Bayless ordered the driver, Anchondo, out of the car, but Anchondo responded that he was trapped and could not get out. Anchondo ultimately got out of the vehicle, hopped a few feet away, and laid down. Another officer pulled Anchondo away from the vehicle because it was starting to catch on fire. Anchondo was then arrested. LA coroner medical examiner Dr. Glenn Glinicky testified that as a medical examiner, he determines the cause of manner of death. Dr. Glinicky did not personally perform the autopsies on the bodies of Curiel and Hernandez. Dr. Luis Peña had conducted the autopsies but had since retired. Dr. Glinicky reviewed the case files, including photographs of each victim. Based primarily on the photos, Dr. Glinicky opined that Hernandez died from a single gunshot wound to the chest. Autopsy photos showed an entrance wound but no exit wound. One projectile was recovered from the body. Dr. Glinicky opined that Curiel died of gunshot wound injuries caused by 2 separate gunshot wounds to the left upper chest. There were no exit wounds on either gunshot. 2 bullets were recovered. Although gunshot stippling suggested the gun was no more than 6 inches from Curiel's body, Dr. Glinicky did not have enough information to determine the distance from which Hernandez was shot. Following the trial, Gilbert Anchondo was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder, including a gun enhancement, and 1 count of evading a peace officer causing serious bodily injury. The court sentenced Anchondo to 2 consecutive terms of life without the possibility of parole, plus 74 years. Juan Manuel Hernandez was 25 years old at the time of death. Oscar Curiel was 38 years old at the time of death.